2026-27, Anthony, undisputed champion. Good idea. Usyk help. Oh, good. Signed.
Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk's partnership has garnered a lot of attention recently. They've been seen spending time together. They were in Ukraine, and most importantly, Usyk and Anthony Joshua are training together. They are in training camp together. And as you can see there, Oleksandr Usyk looks really happy, and Anthony Joshua looks like, he's enjoying the training session and he's enjoying being in Oleksandr Usyk's company. And do you know what? I think it's a good thing. First of all, I think it's a really good thing for Joshua, especially given the accident and the nature of what had transpired, for him to spend time with someone like Oleksandr Usyk, who is all about boxing. Usyk lives, breathes, eats boxing. So it's good for Joshua to be in company of someone like Usyk and to learn and to become a great boxer. He's already achieved so much in his career, but as always, the guys that achieve a lot just believe that they haven't achieved enough, and therefore they need to do a lot more to achieve more. And that's what Usyk is. And I think Usyk will be definitely a positive impact on Anthony Joshua. But the question is, can Oleksandr Usyk help Anthony Joshua become a world champion again? I want you guys to get in the comment section and let me know. Let me know what you think about this question, because Usyk, he thinks that he can get Joshua to become undisputed champion in 2027. Now, I think that may be far-fetched, but I want you guys to get in the comment section and let me know what you think about this. Now, for me, the short answer is absolutely Joshua can become a world champion, because this is the heavyweight division, guys. We've seen fighters that we never thought would become world champions who have become world champions, and Joshua is a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. So the possibility that Joshua can become a world champion again, it is there. It's absolutely there. But the long answer is, I don't know. I don't know how Joshua becomes a world champion, because the last time that Joshua was in a ring, we saw this, right? This wasn't a fluke. When Joshua was in there with Daniel Dubois, he made a lot of mistakes. Now, granted, I must hold my hands up. I picked Joshua to KO Daniel Dubois in this fight. And I thought that was going to happen because I thought Joshua would be too experienced, too sharp. I think Joshua is the better boxer than Daniel Dubois. I think Joshua has a much better ring IQ than Daniel Dubois. So I was picking Joshua to win this fight and to win it convincingly. But what we saw there, as I said, was not a fluke. We saw a certain Anthony Joshua in the ring that did not look like the Joshua we knew. Now, you could, put some blame on Ben Davison's training method of Anthony Joshua fighting with his left hand down, which invited the Daniel Dubois right hand, which landed the first shot, this shot here. Daniel Dubois landed this shot here and changed the trajectory of the fight. Landed it in round one, and Joshua really could not recover from that. And everything went downhill from there. So we saw Anthony Joshua in the ring, and he didn't look good. He didn't look good at all. And Daniel Dubois just made light work of Anthony Joshua. So it is all well and good saying that Anthony Joshua can become undisputed champion in 2027, as Usyk is saying. But the eye test, for me, does not look good. I'll be honest. I think Joshua is on a decline. And I think he's on a decline because I think Joshua's prime has come and gone. Now, we've seen boxers over the years done some incredible things, especially within the heavyweight division, where one punch can change everything. And, with that being said, I think Joshua has got a chance to beat anyone in the division. However, we've got a lot of young guns in the division that are looking at these older fighters, including Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury, thinking, we can beat these guys. And Dubois proved that the young guns coming up can actually beat the older fighters. And that's exactly what he did to Joshua. Dubois actually exposed that Joshua is past his prime and is not the fighter that we used to know before. So saying that Anthony Joshua can become an undisputed champion, I think it's a little bit far-fetched, because, as I said, I think he's on a decline. And what we're seeing is a fighter that has achieved so much in boxing, Olympic gold medalist. Joshua is going to go down as a British boxing legend. Joshua is going to go down in the Hall of Fame of boxing. Joshua, has done everything for British boxing. He's the reason why there's a lot of money in British boxing right now, that so many fighters are earning a lot of money, because he opened the door for that. And, he carried British boxing for a long time. So he's achieved a lot more than even he had expected to achieve in boxing. But unfortunately, I think Joshua is on a decline. And what we saw there, against Daniel Dubois is indicative of where he is at the moment in his career. So, look, Oleksandr Usyk, training with Anthony Joshua is a good thing. I think Joshua would come back and beat a very low-level fighter before stepping up and trying to fight someone in the top 10 maybe. And I think they'll be looking at the Tyson Fury fight for later on. So it makes sense that Joshua partners with Oleksandr Usyk, because what Joshua wants is to train with someone that knows Tyson Fury inside and out. Someone that has fought Tyson Fury and someone that has beat Tyson Fury. And that is Oleksandr Usyk. So the partnership makes absolute sense. But Usyk saying that Joshua can become a world champion or an undisputed world champion again is something that needs to be analysed, because Joshua is 36. Oleksandr Usyk is 38 or 39 really. So what is going to happen here? Is Usyk going to relinquish the belt? Because Usyk said he's got 3 more fights before he retires. So he's got Rico Verhoeven, he's got Tyson Fury, and then he's got the winner of Daniel Dubois and Fabi Wardley. So when does Anthony Joshua become a world champion? Is it when Usyk has had 3 fights and retired? Or is it Usyk going to, relinquish one of the belts so that Joshua can fight for it? These are all possibilities in boxing, but I'm just saying that Anthony Joshua is not the same fighter that we knew. I think, as I said, I think he's on a decline. I think when he's in there and there's a bit more pressure, which he used to be able to deal with back in the days, I don't think he's able to do so. And as you can see there, Daniel Dubois put a lot of pressure on Joshua in the first round, and he landed that big right hand, and that was it. Granted, though, Joshua stayed in the fight until 5 rounds before he got knocked out. But it just looked like a fighter that has seen better days. So look, the training method, training with Usyk is great. It's exciting. It's good for Joshua to come back. But I think Joshua is on a decline. I think Joshua's best days are behind him. He's achieved so much in the sport. Can he become a world champion again? Absolutely. Is it possible? Of course, this is a heavyweight division. It is possible. But I'm not sure how sooner Joshua can become a world champion, unless Joshua is fighting until he's 45. Reminiscent of George Foreman, who came back. I'm not saying that Joshua is George Foreman, but if Joshua is thinking that he wants to fight up until 45, then absolutely he can become an undisputed champion. If he can stay on, if he can get rejuvenated, if he can get his mojo back, if he can get his power back, if Usyk can revitalize Joshua's career, then in the long term, right, maybe 5-6 years in a fight game, I think Joshua can become undisputed. But in 2027, I think that's a bit too early for Anthony Joshua, given that I think he's on a decline. And guys, let's be honest, Father Time waits for no man. And Anthony Joshua is no spring chicken, and he's not getting any younger. But get in the comment section and let me know what you think about Usyk and Anthony Joshua's partnership, and if you think that Anthony Joshua can become a world champion and even an undisputed heavyweight champion. Let me know in the comment section below.